Does LinkedIn feel like it's not your platform, or you're using this platform, but you feel it's a waste of time? You're posting, you're messaging, you're engaging, but nothing seems to turn into real leads or clients. If this sounds familiar, then this episode is for you because my guest has years of experience in communication coaching, sales strategy, and he's found a way to crack the code on LinkedIn success. But before I bring them on, let me introduce myself. My name is Shri, and I'm a social media manager who helps doctors and lawyers gain an edge online. We help your practice build a social media presence that attracts and retains patients and clients. My guest is the founder of the Social Tiger. Has helped sales managers, entrepreneurs transform their LinkedIn strategies. He knows exactly how to take your LinkedIn presence from flat to thriving, and his name is Jordan Molina. Jordan, thank you so much for
Same.
joining us.
Yeah, Sri, it's been a long time. I know that we've been friends for like almost 2 years now,
Forever.
right? And so yeah, it's
No,
great.
let's just
Great
see.
to see
It was
your.
2022. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, so like three
So it
years,
is.
right?
Yeah, we're
It's
getting into
yeah,
three
almost 3 years.
years.
Yeah,
This
3 years.
is
So although we haven't reconnected lately because of each one of us is busy, but it's great to reconnect and great to provide value to your audience, my audience. Like right now, I reposted this to my LinkedIn. We're going live on Facebook and my YouTube also, so uh, everyone's benefiting on multi channels, so to speak.
they are.
So
And here, guys, if you are new and you don't know me, like I actually take this episode and I turn it into a podcast episode. So I will drop the link so that you can hear. This actual episode will be next week, Thursday's episode. So just so you know, like you're trying to think about it. But anyways, you know what? I want to ask you, since it is the holidays, what is something that you like to make or eat during the holiday season?
oh well, I'm not much for traditional things, like um, I mean, like what everybody feels like to eating, like well, my son is always a big pizza fan, and so
During the
and
holidays, you want to eat pizza? Like there's no like pie or
um,
drink.
no, I mean here in Mexico, I would love them because I'm from Vancouver. I'm living in Mexico right now. I would love them to have more eggnog, but they it's very scarce. I mean sometimes you find it, sometimes they don't, right? But but over here it's it's not very um uh well they do have like certain meals here that are were brought from the states, like certain traditions that were brought from the states and Canada over here. Like you can get a turkey, you can get a ham, you can get all that kind of jazz here. um but no, I mean like I mean whatever the family feels like. I mean I mean like we go out to eat, we um I mean, during the holidays, like basically like, every day is a holiday for me, right? Right. I don't feel any that much different during the holidays than the rest of my year because I work part time and every day is like a free day for me. Um, of course, I have client work. Of course, I spend the time on LinkedIn, but I mean, there's no real kind of urge or like really craving that I have like during the holidays, if that if that makes sense.
Well, I would love to ask the audience, and if you're catching this on the podcast, what is it that you look forward to during the holidays that you don't, get to drink? I know there's like something called coquito or creme de punch or something like that. It's like eggnog, but a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Then for me, I actually make pot roast on Christmas Day, and
Mm,
I'm actually gonna make brownies and sweet
mm,
potato pie.
yeah.
So like these are, obviously if you're in the Houston area and you
Yeah.
want to come by,
Exactly.
you can. But I do want to say hi to the guests that are live with us. We have Karen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, Karen.
Karen's a friend from ours from way back too, right? Sri.
Yes, and then
Uh,
Phil. What's going on,
Phil, how's
Phil?
it going, Phil?
And then we have Karen who says, I'm sitting here with the heating on and Jordan has his fan. Can we move? Isn't it so funny how you could be like the same day in two different
Sri.
parts of the world and have just different somebody's bundled up and someone's in shorts. But we're not here to listen
I'm
to that.
I'm in
What
church
we're
right now,
here
but I'm not gonna show you guys.
What I want to ask you is you have such a diverse background from teaching
Yeah,
English fluency
yeah,
for
big time.
SaaS sales
Yeah.
managers to working in software development and coaching. How did you first get into English fluency for SaaS sales managers?
Well, okay. So I about 5 years ago, I worked on well, like I've always had sales experience, right? I have 20 years sales marketing experience. And what really happened is that one of my first jobs was a diamond salesman in Puerto Vallarta in this high end luxury store that sold $100,000 watches, that sold um, there was like a $4 million diamond in the store, and so that type of store. So I really learned from the top performers on that store, and then I grew to a top performing status in that store, like in like a year or two down the line. I'm a slow learner, but the top performers of the store really took me under the wind. They showed me the ropes and stuff like that. I became a sales manager and then a sales trainer. And then um, I went to programming. I got my software engineering, and then I went into programming world a little bit. And then I got several different jobs after that with sales and software sales. Eventually became a top performer in those. And then I got into English teaching because I wanted sort of like a transition, right? I started with all these Chinese companies like Gogo Kid, um, um, Data ABC, all the big names in China until that was basically all the Chinese companies that taught English like really, really closed their doors in 2020 before the pandemic because of a new rule from China, right? So, and then push comes to shove, I got involved with this program with this massive business coach here on LinkedIn. Um, I He teaches English teachers how to create their own business on LinkedIn. So I got involved in his program, got my business to the point where I was getting maybe two or three clients per month. And then that's where I helped uh, business managers and sales managers in different parts of the world with their English and teaching them sales at the same time. And then I got into like LinkedIn organic strategies, and then it kind of like snowballed all the way to where I am right now. So
So that coach that you're talking about that helped you with LinkedIn is the same coach that I met,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I met him in 2021. It's
yeah,
actually when I look at it, it's like it's 4 years now. We're
yeah.
getting into 4 years, and then that's how we met Karen. And if you are on the live but you're not commenting, you know who you are. That was in the same coaching, and so We learned a lot of strategies. We learned a lot of what didn't work and what does work. And we
Mhm.
have Brian Bing from Atlanta saying, I have the fan running constantly for noise. My marketing strategy amateur screenshot who attends live events, comment daily,
Yep.
target content who would benefit, align your network to what how you want to scale your profile
Yeah,
content.
absolutely. Absolutely. Everything has to be in alignment, right? For sure. Hey,
It does.
Brian, how's it going?
So let me ask you, you just shared like your journey. You started off in coaching others to get confident to speak Spanish, I mean, English, not Spanish, because you know how to speak Spanish. But then it went into learning about LinkedIn. And so, like, what are some of the biggest challenges that you faced
Mm,
along the way, especially in communication?
yeah.
And how did you get over that?
Well, w- w- well, I grew up with a speech impediment, so that kind of hindered me a little bit in my older years, even though I stuttered until I was like 8, and then I got help, and then I stuttered like maybe through my teenage years, and then I got help also from a team of psychologists as well. So it's been like a kind of like a struggle off and on, you know. But yeah, it's further down the line, communication has been very, very important, especially to people in my field, because I mean, you need to know how to communicate with clients. You need to know how to um, send an audio message, send a video DM, and give a great first impression. And so it's really transformed my business in the way that, I mean, I don't broad people with audio messages and video DMs. Hey, my name is Jordan, LinkedIn done for you specialist. Let's do this for you. No, first DM, of course not. I mean, I actually used to have this mentality, and I used to like pit slap my audience all the time. But I burned connections. I got blocked. Um, I'd only have I'd send maybe like 100 out. I only got like maybe five or maybe 4 or 5 responses. And so in the meantime, the 95% that were ignoring my messages were told like burnt. you, so I said, there's got to be like some other way, and that's when we met Darren, and he kind of he transformed the way I thought about LinkedIn. Um, but now, I've worked with Jeremy Miner, um, and I've worked with Brian Tracy, and now Jay Lee is my sales coach also. So it's just like adding on to like the basis that well, first of all, James Liu was my coach, and James Liu was Darren's coach as well. But each coach that I worked with um, was in line with my vision, and each coach that I work with now just adds on to the awesomeness of my DM strategy, of my traction, and is what we're currently using to get our clients results as well. So,
So, you know what? You bring up a really good point about the DMs because a lot of times people just don't feel comfortable being in the DMs. And what helped you get, because if you are sending like those, hey, I'm Sri and I'm a social media manager and I can help you get leads and I can create your content, that doesn't go well. So,
yeah.
and then after a while, you believe that you don't know what you're doing in the DM. So, what's one belief that you had to change or was able to overcome so that you could be more
Mm.
confident in the DMs?
Well, well, it's all about mindset, right? And all about believing deep down inside that it can help people. You know, um, once you believe deep down inside, once you believe that you're worth something, that you can really transform people's lives. I mean, believe it or not, it doesn't matter if you have zero clients or you work with hundreds of clients. You still have to need to have that confidence um, inside yourself that you can be a bright light in the world, that you can um, really shine your beacon, so to speak, and really be that guiding light for people, right? Once I know that it sounds cliche, I know that it's easier said than done, obviously, but once you deeply believe that, deep inside, like in your soul, then you could be like, okay, you know, how am I going to approach the prospect? Um, well, what am I going to say that's not going to leave a bitter taste in his mouth? Um, so, so I mean, just what I always say, pretend like your prospect or pretend the person is with you across the table in a coffee shop with you, like physically. What would you say? How would you start the conversation? And then that usually helps me be more personable, um, and be attuned to different psychological triggers as well, um, in the DMs, right? So like for instance, I booked a call for Monday, right? And this is how I book a call, right? Um, I first of all I talked like she's in the Canary Islands, right? She's living in the Canary Islands. So yeah, I've always wanted to go to Canary Islands. Da, 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 da. And then and then she's like, yeah, so you're in Mexico. Like we both sent pictures of the beach and oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then so oh, I see that you're impacting in, and then whatever her LinkedIn profile said, right? Oh, you must be super awesome teaching people that. And then, I mean, she's like, yeah, you too. You do LinkedIn done for you? She's like, okay, so tell me more about that. And then I went into like maybe like a 30-second audio message about that and sent her a video after that as well. And then she's like, yeah, I really enjoyed your video. I really enjoyed your audio message there. Thank you for that. And then I said, well, let me know if you're up for a collaboration or to see if I can support you in any way, shape, or form on LinkedIn one day. And she's like, yeah, that would be great. And then I just sent her my booking link, and then she just booked a call. Right. So it's all about like really meaningfully connecting, finding those um, commonalities at first, having that chit chat. I'm not saying chit chat forever. Obviously, I'm not saying chit chat forever, right? Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying having that chit chat, having fun, and then just say, and then just naturally pivoting into business, right? So, and then eventually like booking the call after that. So,
That is a solid tip about how to get into the DMs and connect with someone that you don't know. Now, before I ask my next question, I'm here with Jordan and he is sharing us some his story and then also some tips of how to get going before 2025 so that you can not feel like LinkedIn is a platform that just doesn't work for you. We have Brian who says continue post comments in the DMs,
mm,
and Karen, when you were talking about mindset, she's like, yes, that is the deepest, most important belief, motivation and vision. And when you were talking about getting in the DM, she's saying, get ready for a no, then
yep,
explore why.
exactly, exactly.
And as you were sharing your strategy, she said, that's interesting, Jordan. You have videos about your program and benefits ready. And
Mm,
so, let me ask you this because now it comes to mind like, okay, you're paying attention to what they're saying on their profile? What needs to be on my profile if I'm the one sending the messages so that they know
Oh
that
yeah, big time.
I'm the person.
Yeah.
And like what's when I say this, I want to pick on, let's get granular and
Okay.
say, what's the number one thing that you see that's not on people's profiles?
Okay. This is going to be a little bit controversial because there are many people who have opinions about this, and I'm not saying it's the most important thing. I'm just saying it helps. Okay. So that is engagement on your own posts. Like right now, I'm getting 50 to 100 comments each post, and that how I'm just saying that it helps me get on calls because people want engagement on their posts. Um, People like the conversation um, in their comments, right? And a lot of people don't have that much engagement, and then um, I'm just like, hey, I can help you with your social media presence. I can raise your engagement, and then let's say if I don't have any engagement, like, what does that say to them, right? That it's kind of like conflicting message. So in my case, I know that engagement is not the most important thing, but in my case, it helps because then they can say, "Oh, your engagement is good." That's my goal. I want more conversations in the comments. I want people commenting on my posts more, so that I can lead a conversation, so that I can book a call. Right. So me and Mark, we call this mining for leads. Right. Well, like people comment on our posts that we don't know all the time, and they're from our target audience. So what we do is we go into the DMs with them. We say, "Hey, thank you for supporting our post. Um, I'm glad that my post resonated with you. Blah 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 blah. And what did you find interesting about the post that led you to comment on it?" Right? And then we just start a conversation that way, also, right? Like I know people crushing it on LinkedIn that don't have any engagement, and I'm not I'm not saying each strategy is different. I'm not saying that you should focus on engagement. I'm just saying focus on meaningful connections in the DMs, and whatever you do to make that happen, whether it's upping the engagement of your own posts, so be it, right? So I think that's the number one myth that people have, um, that like, for instance, they're reaching out to me about LinkedIn strategies and about LinkedIn. Oh, I can do that, like pitch slappers. And then when I look at their profile, they only have 100 connections, and uh, they haven't posted in like 3 months, right? So I mean, like, how how is that going to convince me that you can help me, right? So in my case, engagement on our post just like helps us give that social proof that, hey, we're doing it ourselves, we're booking calls, uh, we have, although engagement can always get better, but we have about 50 to 100 comments each post. So that's kind of gives us social, that's extra social proof that we can do it for other people too, if that makes sense, Tree.
It does. And it also prompted, while you're explaining, Karen to ask this question, which is, Jordan, do you think joining a collaboration with someone like Mark helps you grow your conversations and entrance to sales call? If so, would you recommend that we get involved in collaborations?
So I think Karen is trying to help us out here. Thank you so much, Karen. Yeah, for sure. Collaborations are key. I mean, uh, just to give you, many people frown upon collaborations. Many people are like a little bit Well, I'm not saying a little bit greedy, but a little bit, oh, territorial. These are my clients, and those are your clients. These are mine. So I can only tell them this is my network. I can only tell them, and so I'm just saying that in my case, in me and Mark's case, we removed that mental block, and we have other people getting us leads and getting us on three-way conversations almost every week, because we um, operate on a referral business, right? Like we give 10% of the total amount of money that was closed every month back to the person just introducing us to the the person, right? So so let's say if it was I don't know, maybe a $2,000 package, let's say. We give $200 to the person every single month until the client leaves.
Oh.
So, so like this really stimulates people saying, oh, okay, boom, I have a person here, I have a person there, I have a person there, and so just a lot of people don't feel comfortable with this, and we are trying to remove the stigma of that, right? So look for collaborations. Of course, I'm not saying collaborate with anybody. Get on those coffee chats every day and try to find people. I'm just saying collaborate with the right people, with the same vision, with the same like-mindedness, and with like the same mental state, with the same attitude as you, right? Um, there are many there are many collaborations that you can do. You can even offer your services in exchange for uh, like free services. Let's say if let's say if I need a video editor, a designer, or whatever, and they're having trouble on LinkedIn. Um, what we can do is say, hey, we can offer this service. You can join our coaching, and then you do some free service for us, right? Be open to that kind of collaboration. I'm not saying, yeah, if you're firmly against that, don't do that. Obviously, if you think it's a waste of time, don't do it. I'm just saying this is how we grew our business to the point where it is right now.
I can say that the collaborations where you do free for a while has helped. I mean, I know we have to make money, but sometimes you need a little bit of a you need a portfolio. You need to be able to show how you worked with other clients, and then you don't have to do the free. You
Yeah,
can say no. Like you can
yeah,
say, "Well, I will just pay you
exactly,
if it's in
exactly.
my budget. It's in my budget. Otherwise, I don't." So we have here Karen sharing that that's so interesting, Jordan. What a fantastic approach. This creates a more impacting reputation. And it does. Like, people see that they got value, especially if you give if you say, hey, I'm giving away 5 free coaching calls and they get a win, then in return, you just ask them to write a review. Like you say, hey, look, I will do the call and I just ask for a review, or I'll do the call, or I'll do the coaching if you can do XYZ.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of your business, I will say that's really, really, really
Oh yeah.
helpful. And in between, you can do it. I know people around this time of the year have offered coaching services. I worked with the coach last year this time, and she really helped me really start my 2025 on a bang because I was doing things that were outside of my comfort zone. And she was really getting me to think forward. And I'm very thankful for it. So just realize that there's opportunities
Yeah.
out there
Exactly.
to get yourself in front of people if you're feeling like you're not. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to end this conversation here, and we're going to invite you to come and join us on Instagram where we'll continue this conversation. But before I leave, I want to ask you, Jordan, how can we connect with you? How can we book a call with you? How can we go from a stalker to a friend?
Yeah, so I'm usually on LinkedIn every day. You can send a DM on LinkedIn, on Facebook as well. So yeah, that's usually the main route of connecting with me. And of course, I'd like to offer. Actually, this kind of like um, this is kind of like in the works right now, but it's ready to go. On December 24th, we're launching a video DM course, and also we are launching a 2025 roadmap to get high ticket clients on LinkedIn. So, of course, this is free. So if anyone wants a roadmap, please let me know, and then I can make arrangements to send that to you.
You
Also,
know what? We'll make it easier. So you could just drop in the, comments. You could say roadmap, or you can DM Jordan
sure,
roadmap, and he will make sure he will get that information to
sure,
you because I know how it gets. Sometimes you forget.
yeah,
But if you're catching this episode even on Spotify, Apple, or watching the replay on YouTube, you could still DM Jordan roadmap, or you can comment roadmap. I'm gonna make
yeah,
sure he sees everything.
yeah.
So, like I said, we're going to be going to Instagram. I want to thank everybody who joined us in on this conversation, who's listening to the replay, because we appreciate you. And
Yep.
I also want to say thank you, Jordan. Jordan, I'm
Thank you,
going to share
Tree.
this with you guys. Jordan actually helped me this year. No, was it last year?
I think it was last year, right?
Last year
Last year.
with my sales and how I approach many of the folks that I got into the DMs because I was struggling. And I can tell you that the strategies he shared really do work. And you will be surprised, like how people will reach out to you. I've had people call me on my phone. I've had people tell me in the DMs, like, most people are trying to sell me. You're just trying to get to know me. Like, the strategies work. It's like working out. You've got to stick to the process. So
Mhm.
definitely reach out to him. You will be so happy you worked with him. So until my next episode, which I have next week, I am excited for. It's all about email marketing, but we're going to continue this conversation on Instagram. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Tree.
You're welcome.